life actually
Exactly,
happier.
because I always maintain, and this is not politically correct sometimes, that when you see things on television,
Yeah.
like a Maserati car
Yeah.
or a Bentley, or you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
this, in every one of us we have this notion, oh, if I can only have that.
Right.
Well, they're saved from that. They are so grateful.
And they don't have pollution of
Well, if they're
air.
eating
Yeah.
and they're hunting, you know, it's sort of to be, their hunting experience to me reminds me of the Neolithical man. When you go and see pictures of cave drawings, these pretty animals, they weren't done for aesthetics. They were done spiritually. They felt, if I draw that animal, I will go out the next day, see it, and hunt it.
Oh,
But the Maasai aren't quite that primitive, but still, they pray, they dance. A lot of their habits are based on their hunting experience.
Yep.
And it was a civilization, I shouldn't say of a civilization, it's a group of people that we really admired.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
this is their classroom.
I see. Okay.
Now, I don't show it, but on their blackboard, they had spelling in English. They were learning English. But this is really on the outskirts of the Serengeti, not all their children.
How would they be able to afford to have, say, like clothing? Obviously, they don't make them.
No,
they have to
but
import
this is
them.
on the outskirts of the Serengeti.
Yeah.
And they come from working families. They're not actually in the Serengeti. But when we left the Serengeti, this is the first village we went to.
I see.
Next. The unique thing is also that we had the privilege of not just seeing the classroom, but sitting with them, talking to the children, going out, seeing them play. We already had a sense of their whole curriculum. And their thing that impressed me in some ways too, there was a uniformity to their dress, etc.
Yeah, I seem to see that there's like a uniform in
Yes.
classroom. Yeah.
You know, that I don't think, this is one of my favorite pictures. And this was not done in Africa. I'm cheating because it's my favorite picture.
Yeah.
It's a cricket.
Cricket.
In
Yeah.
a swamp in Florida.
Oh, this is in Florida.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the swamp is run by an organization, and they have 5 miles of
Areas.
5 miles of boardwalk
Oh, wow.
going off into the swamp. And I was
So
walking along.
the board is built above the swamp.
But I was walking along. I looked down, started walking away, and a young girl about 7 or 8 years old came up to me and shook her head low and grabbed my sleeve, pointed down until I saw that cricket.
Oh.
I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
And I
Well, how did she notice?
Well, she was just a brilliant child. Her father said to me, follow her. She'll see everything you want to see. And she just had a sense for these things. And the swamp is actually run by the Audubon Society.
I see. So perhaps the cricket was really making a sound, a noise that she detected.
I was totally unaware of it. But we did
Yeah,
follow
well,
her.
adults sometimes didn't hear all of these things, right?
Exactly. And next, please. The nice thing about the swamp, it's Corkscrew Swamp. Run near Naples, Florida. And when you go out into the swamp, you have botanists, nature people with telescopes. They'll let you look at things you can see.
Yeah.
Alligators, you can see all kinds of wildlife.
Right.
This is something I'll go back to. This was the falcon.
Yeah.
The falcon is also the fastest creature on Earth. He can fly.
Now, this picture, how did you take it? I mean, it looks like you're very close. And,
Well, that actually I wanted to show when I discussed green chimneys.
Yeah.
That was taken at Birds of Prey.
Oh, so birds are
But
close
nonetheless,
to
with the lenses we have now,
you
know,
can,
you can stand so far away.
and yet looks like
and yet,
you
yeah.
take, yeah. This one definitely looks like you're very close, and the bird's eye is right looking at you.
Yes.
So,
And they can fly at 200 miles an hour, which is
200
unbelievable.
miles an hour. Yeah.
Yes. Next, please. And that bird
Yeah.
was on a falconer's wrist.
Uh-huh.
They wore very heavy gloves. That the master wore very heavy gloves, and they'll sit on there.
Yep.
But the nice thing about it is they don't have bird warfare. A lot of falconers, eagle owners, I'm not sure, but they may indulge, in bird
Competition.
fight. Competition.
And, yeah. So falcon is similar to eagles, can be trained by
yeah,
human,
yeah.
and they
As
also
pets.
Pets, yeah.
Yes. And this, I had to show this because I thought the kids would like it.
Yeah.
And there was no adventure involved in this. It was taken near Princeton, New Jersey, at my son's house.
I see.
And it was just, this little bird was just born.
Yeah, it's just discovered by you guys.
Yeah.
What kind of bird is this?
I don't really know. Somebody had come along, saw the bird,
Yeah.
picked it up. We had no idea what kind of bird it was. I just thought people would like to see it. Next, please.
Yellow feather, huh?
Yeah, and it's just nice to see creatures at all different stages.
Oh, yeah.
Of
Oh, yeah,
course,
even in my backyard, we often see different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing, just in our environment here, that we have a stream behind our house, and behind our house, we have mudsucker fish. This is in Sobers, that actually spawn. We always thought only salmon went upstream. The mudsucker does.
Oh, yeah.
And we have all kinds of birds. This bird actually was also done in Florida at the Ding Darling Nature Preserve, which is near Fort Pierce in Florida. It's a place you can walk through for several miles. They have all kinds of exotic birds. The uniquity of this bird, it's a cormorant. That cormorants have oil in their feathers, and when they come out
So
of
they
the
can
water,
float, yeah.
they're too heavy to fly. They have to sun themselves to dry the oil, and then they can fly.
Tried it. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
But I'm speaking of Florida again, but it's a nature preserve where you'll see the most exotic birds, etc. It's free admission. Ding Darling was a cartoonist in the 1920s.
This, I can't see that detailed bird. Reminds me some birds that are used in China by the fishermen to fish.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that kind of bird?
You're
I mean,
so-
they have a
Very true.
sort of a group of them. They just send them off and they bring the fish back.
Yeah, we couldn't imagine when you see them come down,
Yeah.
they bring their fish to the land,
Yeah.
the sense they have to go well deep
Yeah.
into the water. Yeah.
I mean, for fishermen to utilize birds to fish for them, it's very clever.
Yes, yes. I was just going to say quickly, Ding Darling was a cartoonist in the 1920s,
Yeah.
made a fortune, and he built this preserve, and it's not endowed by anybody,
Just him.
just him. He's now passed on, and they just rely on donations, but it's Ding Darling Nature Preserve if you're in
Florida.
South Florida.
Which part of Florida is it?
It's near Fort Pierce on the west coast,
West Coast.
as was the boardwalk I spoke about.
I see.
The Corkscrew Swamp, that same area.
So it's in Gulf area.
Yeah. No, the Gulf is further south into.
Oh, I see.
This is probably parallel.
Tampa?
No, Tampa. It's actually about 100 miles south of Tampa.
Okay.
But the whole area is full of nature preserves, and we spent a lot of time there.
Yes, in Florida is
Yeah.
it's very at least the swamp area is very interesting.
Yeah, we showed. Well, there's the butterfly. Butterflies are unique too, and I shot this picture at Rainbow's End. The most interesting of all the butterflies are the monarch butterfly. The monarch butterfly migrates to Mexico or California
From where?
from here
Oh.
every year, and they will have their offspring in these places, and the offspring flies back.
Oh, I
Can
see.
you imagine that's 3,000
So,
miles?
so migration sort of by generation.
Yes, it's migration by generation.
How did they teach or the
It's a
next
natural instinct
generation
to do
to
it.
know where it,
I've
home
asked that
is?
question and nobody can answer it. They just know to come back.
That far away.
Yeah, as I said, it's done every year. And there's a place in California, and I forget the name of the city, the town, that actually where all the
And
monarchs go.
what is the naturalist people's explanation why they do that?
No idea. I've Googled it, I've tried, and I
Uh-huh.
don't have an answer, but it's an instinctive thing. And
What's the lifespan of a generation then?
just about the trip, I don't know. Probably.
Because if the older generation migrates to, let's say, Canada, stays on, and then the young ones goes to.
Well, the lifespan of the butterfly that's here when it's born and it's flying here is a little less than a year.
Right.
They do last.
I see.
Yeah.
But the ultimate destination is to migrate to another place and
Yes.
then disappear. Right?
Yes.
That's very interesting.
Next, please.
Oh, this is a frog.
Frogs. I have a fascination for frogs, and this was also done in the swamp.
Yeah.
They're a carnivorous creature.
Yeah.
The unique thing about the frog is they go back in time to 265 million years ago.
Oh yeah.
So it's
I
one of the
see.
first creatures, perhaps not necessarily in this shape,
The same
but
species.
the species.
Yeah.
And there are thousands of different frogs species.
Yeah. Just color alone is quite a
Yeah.
fascinating.
And what I did for this one, I actually laid on my belly to get that view.
I mean, this one is green, right? I
Yeah.
mean, the frogs are known to be green, gray,
All different
black,
colors.
yellow, and brown, and all, and then multicolor ones, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So,
Next, please. I also mentioned, you saw a picture, there it is. That's the
beetle.
beetle that was done at a nature preserve in southern Westchester. But I just love that picture because
Where southern Westchester?
I forget the name of the
T-Town or
preserve.
some? No.
Yep, that's right, yeah.
T-Town, yeah.
Yeah. You saw a picture of spiders also recently. Spiders are unique in the sense there are over 4,000 species of spider in the world today.
4,000?
Actually 4,038, to be honest with you. And they make, in the web you saw, and most people know this, they produce silk,
Yes.
an abundance of silk.
Right.
And their webs are so intricate.
Yeah, yeah. Did you? Okay, here's the spider picture, right?
Yeah, and they also go back 200 million years. The first.
Yeah.
Insects.
Again, yeah. Spider is got so many variations of a species.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
And spiders, like jackals, have always had bad reputations.
Yeah. Well, I put a line of characters to say that the spider's silk is the strongest material, which actually, the reason I say that is my youngest son in high school is picked up a research project. The high school has the research program, and his research is to study the spider silk and how it's made, and whether it's possible to simulate or making a manufacturing process for artificial made these spider silk. The reason they want to do that is the silk material, the strongest silk material, is stronger than steel and it's a culva. Yeah, that's how strong they are.
You're so right. And as a matter of fact, I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure during the Second World War, parachutes were made out of silk because of their strength. Winds, debris, nothing would affect them.
Right.
Yeah, so it's very true.
Yeah, and the way this is I'm now sort of get interested, so I talk to my son a lot, and we do reading together and so on. The way the silk is made in the spider, of course, is a biochemical process, but in many ways, actually, sort of like a mechanical, because their body have this duct that is structured, and different compound molecules, or these proteins, as you call it, that is fed into this duct. They make a reaction, and as they somehow flow through, pass through this mechanical structure, then the silk is formed.
Really?
And therefore, it has that kind of a strength built in. It's I'm only scratched the surface yet, and he is also trying to do a little more research in this area. Hopefully, this summer is his project, and to really understand, how these silk are made in nature, and whether we can really simulate it in an artificial environment.
I really appreciate when I learn of children at any age investing themselves in nature. I have an extraordinary internist doctor, and she has young children, and they have an avid interest in nature, and I do appreciate that. And I have a grandson who at 8 years old, shows an interest in nature, because again, nature is the world around us.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And as you say, there are so many things in nature through the years that science has been able, as you've mentioned, I was unaware of, they can take a natural element and develop it into a commercial use to better mankind.
Yes.
And I think also, and this may sound silly, but because of all the bad omens about spiders, I personally thought it was wonderful when the cartoon character arose, Spider-Man, which emanated originally in comic books.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, finally, the spider is a hero.
Yeah. Well, actually, in a way, spiders, people don't like them because they ate other things.
Oh, yeah.
But on the other hand, the way they do it is very civilized.
I got one quick thing.
Yeah.
Now, all of you who've seen all these animals, I want you to think to yourself, what professional sports teams have used the names of some of these animals?
Oh.
Quickly. Quickly. The falcon.
Yeah, falcons.
The Detroit Lions.
Lions, yeah.
And the Philadelphia Eagles, the Atlanta Falcons.
Eagles, yeah.
See?
Yeah. All right. Okay. Very good. Well, we still have about 10 minutes.
Okay,
yeah?
fine.
This is a fascinating show. I hope you enjoyed.
Very much so.
But let's talk a little bit. I would talk to Ron a little bit about photography in general. Perhaps later on we will see whether can invite him back again to have some lessons on photography. Although today people think, we got all kinds of these cameras, just click, click, click. You take picture very fast. But I think photography is still a science that it's not just limited to the camera, the mechanical device or electronic device. It's really art, and the art that involves human beings' other senses, and how you see things, how you sort of process that picture in your head, and then how do you extrapolate in your artistic view, and then make that click. So even though the click is simple, but I think photography itself is not so simple, and to make a good, sort of being a good photographer, I think there's a lot of science and theories behind. So hopefully we'll get Ron to talk a little bit about that.
I'd be glad to.
Yeah?
Matter of fact, may
Yeah?
I just toot my own horn. Photography is an art. And to give you an example of that, I have had the most exciting honor bestowed upon me. I am a member of the Katoni Museum's Artists Association, and as a photographer, not as a painter or a sculptor, as a photographer, I was their Artist of the Month for the month of May this year.
Oh, congratulations.
And
That's
I'm
great.
exhibiting with them right now. The association, what we do, they're at Northern Westchester Hospital in Mount Kisco. Rather than have bare walls for patients to look at, the association
Bring the
puts up
photographs.
paintings and photographs. And each year, more and more photographs are exhibited, and you commit your work. For each of us puts our work up for 6 months every 2 years. And I feel so thrilled.
Oh.
And, you know, the uniquity about photography also is, as Ife has said, it's a seeing process. It's a visual process. Now, I'm paraphrasing, but Pablo Picasso, who at one time was a very realistic artist, and I think probably the greatest artist, or one of the greatest that's ever lived, when he was asked about creativity, he said, all creativity is seeing things differently than anyone else. And as you said, we have so many senses that are aroused by seeing things. And all of us, during our day's experience, we walk, we don't look, we don't see.
Exactly. Yeah.
Photography, ever since I was an art director to start with, became a photographer. And as visual as my experience was as an art director, I really started to look around me all the time, and I still do, because once you're trained to look through that little scope, you're always looking at things. You'll find yourself looking to see what's a good picture. Is that a picture? And my wife and I have a task, or she has a task she's committed herself to. When we go places or see things, and I will show you some of my photography during my lessons, she will say to me, okay, big shot, photograph this differently than somebody else. Right now I can say, if you want to improve your photography, not sports, not a party, but if you want to go out and take a great picture,
Nature.
say to yourself, a nature picture, a landscape,
Right.
say to yourself, how can I take this picture like nobody else has ever taken it?
Right.
And that's a creative experience.
Right.
And every time I go to take a picture, I say, how can I take this like nobody else has ever done? But not long ago, and I will show you this picture subsequently someday, of a daffodil. I said, okay, big shot, photograph this like nobody else has ever done. And I did. And it's won 4 awards, and it's sold 4 times. It shows. So,
yeah, I remember that. Is the this is daffodil, right? This is on your
correct.
website?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I hope to show it to you, many other pictures, and I'd be thrilled to share my talents or ability with you all during photographic sessions. I have taught seminars, and I love photography.
You know, this is the days, I hope, someday people have really improved the camera, that the camera is something that you really can wear like the glasses, that, instead of holding an instrument, that you're wearing a glass. Of course, we're already talking about computers, glasses, but if you make a camera that's like a glass you wear and you see, and then when you see something interesting and something that triggered and your thoughts on, and then you just capture. Isn't that a
That's a human experience. You know what I do when I take people out as part of seminars out to take pictures? I tell them, don't look through your camera.
Yeah.
Do this.
Yeah. Do this. Yeah.
And look, because when you're doing this, you're going to go boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
First. And try that sometime. Just hold your hands up like this with the...
It's a framing. That's the one of the framing. Yeah.
Look around and say, is that a picture? Is that a picture? Does it go like this? And that's something you have to learn also. Is it horizontal? Is it a vertical? And all the technical aspects of photography are taken care of now.
Right.
They're all automatic. So you do have more time to think visually. Like when I started photography, I had to think, what's my f-stop? What's this? What's the light? What's this?
Yep.
And now you also have in the computer, if you care to.
But of course, today with a digital camera and after you're taking pictures with digital processing, framing gets sort of people, ignored because you can frame afterwards rather than at the moment. And in the analog camera, that framing is a big art. I mean, you just have to be careful, right? You cut people's head off.
A dear friend of mine his brother has just given him 25 old cameras. And I went there the other day, and I have to show a couple of these primitive cameras that people work with and took great pictures.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, I've covered several presidential conventions. In the early days, you had people in the early 70s walking around with 8x10 cameras to take studio pictures in a place like this. The dedication was there.
That's right, yeah.
And every historical event, D-Day was captured most beautifully by a photographer named Robert Capra, who landed at Normandy, etc. But anyway, I know our time is running short.
Yes, time is running short.
Ife, I have to thank you once again.
For coming.
It's always a pleasure.
I would definitely invite you back again. Hopefully we have some photography lessons for the audience, right?
It's always a
are you
to
still,
share ideas with
Are you still planning another trip?
I told you we've done so many adventure trips. My wife finally said to me, I want to go someplace where there's toilet paper. We sailed the Galapagos, we lived in a rainforest, we climbed Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
I'm 79 and she's 77.
Yeah.
So we go down and we go to the rainforest in Puerto Rico.
I'm sure wherever you go, you're going to have, fine pictures to take.
Thank you.
Okay, good. All right. You enjoyed this hour, I hope. We will invite Mr. Meyerson back again, and thank you for watching. Good night. That's it.